Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Lions Gate Portal Day. I was actually laying in bed last night, like looking up what Lionsgate Portal even meant. Like, I know it's a powerful day, but I was like, what does this day even mean? And I still, like, I feel like I've grasped like a slight concept of what it means, but I'm still a little unclear. So all I know is that I'm playing 432 hertz in the background, and something just popped up really weird on my phone. And I'm also I'm gonna do a meditation and a visualization later today. But before I get into all of that, today is a day number 2 for main character coaching series. I'm really, really, really excited to bring this guest forward. I know this guest personally. We've been on this journey together for quite some time. And oh, there she is. She just joined the room. She's going to request to join any moment now. But I can't wait to go through her questions with you guys because I think they're going to be highly applicable to everybody in the room. So here we go. Any moment now. It's just probably my Wi-Fi there. Sammie B, welcome to the room. Hey, 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 main
Hello, hello.
character.
That's me.
That's you. It's like quite ironic to me that you're like in main character coaching because I feel like you give main character vibes
Oh
so
my God.
fiercely. But I know that that's just like a play on words, and we're gonna do some strategy things. Oh my gosh, we have Jules in the room with us. Can you see the
What's
camera
up, Jules?
on your side?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So, for those of you that are watching, for those of you that are tuning in, if you have like questions that are sparked based off of our conversation, drop them in the comments. And toward the end, I will come back to those and we can have a conversation around that as well. But before we dive in, go ahead and introduce yourself. Where are you from? And tell us what you do and who you serve, and just your formal introduction.
Well, I am Sammie B on social media. My government name is Samantha Brand, and the same on my Wikipedia page. Ow. I am from California. My family's from Haiti, and I'm very, very proud of that. And I am now a life and writing coach. So I help people I use writing to help people get through their spirals and their grief.
I love that so much. And you have such a strong personal story as to why you do what you do, which is very interesting. I think I witnessed this in so many clients. Like sometimes the missing piece is like that personal Cherie, what's up, my girl? Like that personal experience, and then using that to turn it into a freaking business. And you've done that. And I've watched you over the years just like grow and grow and grow. And I'm so lucky to have a front row seat to that. And I just have to say that I love you so much.
I love you. Same.
Hi. Okay. So we're gonna get into your questions here, which I think are really good questions and also very, very simple fix, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna, for the audience, for those listening, I'm just gonna give Karina in the house. I'm gonna give like some background. So um, Sammy is a writing coach, and she uses writing as a conduit to basically help people heal. So for them to have self-expression, for them to work their way out of whatever they're going through. And I believe I've experienced this at least with you. It's also a matter of like not just writing when you're in the thick of like dark times, but also writing when you're celebrating and when you're feeling joyful. Okay, cool. Glad we nailed that. So where you feel your biggest gap is right now in your business is you question the price point of what to charge. Okay, that's very normal. And let's go through that first because that's a really quick conversation. The way that I think about price point is a couple of different things. Um, First of all, you have to understand the return on investment. So if you are helping someone through some of their darkest times, you are helping them potentially um, not have to pay for therapy, potentially not have to pay for a prescription, maybe even, potentially not have to spend so much time in depression that they might have to take leave from work. So that is the return on investment, is you're thinking here like I'm really helping someone heal and save them from all these potential things that could actually charge them more money or charge them their peace, which is priceless. So you have that in the back of your mind. You first go through like, that's the return on investment. And you have to fully believe that, which I think you do. And then you move into, okay, if I have this particular program and I know specifically what the transformation is, let's say the transformation is, I'll just make this up. It's a 7-day challenge where you're going to make sure that they're held accountable to writing. So in 7 days, the transformation is they go from not writing to writing every single day. That's the transformation. When you think about a price point for that, you have to first ask yourself, what would you pay for that experience if it were you? Like, what would you be like, this is a no-brainer? And what's the price point where you'd be like, that's too much for that transformation? Then you have to take into account, okay, I'm going to associate a price with this where I feel like I'm not overcharging, because that feeling where it's like, crap, they just paid me a ton of money and now I feel like I have to overstuff this experience with so much stuff because I'm like, they paid for this, I need to go above and beyond. So you don't really want to feel that way. Um, and then what up, Dean? And then you
Yeah.
you also want to come from a place of like, if I undercharge, am I going to feel resentful for showing up and pouring into them? So there is a happy medium. And honestly, the name of the game here is playing around with price points. You will know as you move forward and as you do this time and time again, launch program after program, you will know what feels good to you and what where your boundaries are, both like in the resentful realm and the like I don't feel worthy realm. So you have
Right.
to like understand those things. But that's the process that I go through, is truly like, I also think there's also a level to this where I consider the proximity to me. So if they're getting like group calls where, and you've been on my group calls where I am very much giving customized support. Like I see everyone in the room, I talk to people, I might call people forward. That is very close proximity to me. So I charge based off of that experience as well. If I'm in a challenge where maybe I just do a group call and there is no proximity to me, or like, um, like I'm not working with people in the chat. I've never done that actually, but just in case, like I did do that. Or it was like, maybe I'm just giving them like a download or a workbook. That's no proximity to me at all. That's going to decrease my price point. Um, However, the value of the program is not based off of proximity to you. So keep that in mind. Okay. Does that help?
Yeah, I think the only part that caught me a little bit is like I noticed that because I sometimes go by what I would buy,
Mhm.
it's kind of like dependent on where I am financially. So I noticed that maybe like last year when I wasn't doing as financially, like I wasn't as stable, I was like, whoa, I would never charge someone like 30. I wouldn't pay that right now. And I noticed that my scarcity mindset got really involved in that. And I
Yeah.
noticed this year, as I'm more affluent and doing a lot better and flying first class,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I would pay for that, so I'll do that. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not letting my prices go like this with my own finances. And I think that was where I got caught a lot.
That makes total sense. And I think that's like super strong awareness for sure. I feel like I've been through that too. Like I totally get that. I think when you're in those moments, and for anyone listening who might be like in that boat, this is where to me I'm like, you need to have some biz besties where, and I can be one of those people for you, like a message literally, like you have people who they need to understand this world first of all, like that's huge. But they also need to understand, like you have to come forth with the transformation and you have to say, what would you considering your life here right now and where you're at, what would you pay for this, and then give 3 options. Like, is it, think it's worth this? Do you think it's worth this? Do you think it's worth this? And I would intentionally not include the deliverables. Like, you don't let them know what the length of time is of the program. Don't let them know if there's calls with you. The price point should be strictly based off of how desirable the transformation is.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so that could be really fun. I would have like 2 to 3 people that you can reach out to and ask that question.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So we've gone through that. And then I know your big question was like, you want to basically get new leads. You want to increase your exposure and your visibility, and you are ready to like be known outside of your bubble.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, same, same. Okay, so before I go into coaching you on this, I want to ask you, tell me like what you're doing right now to attack that goal.
I honestly have taken my social media a lot more seriously since the Made You Look challenge. Like I also consume social media differently, so I'm intentionally following people and unfollowing people and making sure that like my feed is what I curate it to be. So now when I come into social media, I have in the back of my mind my next offer, or I have in the back of my mind like who might need to hear this, even if I don't have an offer on the table.
Hmm.
So social media is a big way. I've done a lot more, I guess. I've kind of flipped how I do my emails as well, where I'm being a lot more personable and things like that, which I actually need to work on a lot more. Going live is another one that I'm trying to do more regularly, and sliding into people's DMs. I think that sometimes before I'd be like, oh, that's really intrusive. But when I'm watching like someone just struggle with something I know I could help with, I just ask them how they are. I ask them, and I'm not, if I can't help them, I'm not going to push that I can.
Hmm.
But being a little bit more like involved in that way.
Okay, beautiful. Now let me ask you another question. When was the last time that you found someone new and you were so intrigued to the point where you followed them and potentially looked at their website?
Hmm. I know I just did this a day ago. I was a poet,
Hmm.
but now
How'd
I
you,
can't remember her name.
no, yeah, their
Yeah.
name doesn't matter, just the fact that, okay, so it's happened recently for you. How did
Mhm.
you find this person?
On my FYP, just like maybe I was on like someone's reel and then I just kept going from there.
Okay, so on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. And when you think about creating your content, are you mostly Instagram or do you repurpose anywhere else?
I repurposed to TikTok a little bit, but I'm stuck there because I made my account in Sweden. So it's like I can't do anything there financially. It's really hard. I can grow there. Like I'm at almost like
Wow.
40K there, but I can't monetize that later. So
That's,
I don't pay attention. Yeah, because Sweden doesn't have a creators fund,
oh, wow.
and they will not change my region. So Instagram is where I focus, but yeah, I have
Okay.
a bigger following on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like the creator fund with TikTok, I don't think is your play anyway. Like
No.
your main if you were to repurpose over on TikTok, your main play there would be to get them to the link that's in your bio or to get
Yeah.
them to move from TikTok over to Instagram.
Okay.
So let's go through a couple. Actually, I have so many ideas. I'm just going to lay them out there
Okay.
and just know that the goal here is not for you to do all of them. The goal is for you to maybe pick two, three tops and get hyper focused on these three things and stick with them long term. Like I would say for the next year, and I would go after that. Okay.
Okay.
Another thing for everyone watching to know it is that you do have a podcast. Okay. So first thing is, I do want to talk about just Instagram because you're already in the habit of posting
Mhm.
content. You're already in the habit of showing up there. You are very clear on like your transformation and who you want to call in. So, as far as Instagram goes, it's even myself, like it's crazy for us to think that we can post really good content and just simply be found. There's billions of people on Instagram, and the ability to go viral, if that's going to be the focus, that's going to pull you away from making impact. So it's really hard for us as coaches and business owners to like put our focus into going viral when that's not where our focus should go to. So yes, you're going to continue to post feed content, but the way that I want you to think about that is like your feed content is where when people do find you, they're not going to find you through your feed content 9 times out of 10, but when they do find you, they're going to come and binge what you have. That's why you prioritize that first. So now we need to figure out the vessel as to which they're going to find you and eventually get to that feed content. And that could be, like you mentioned, going live on Instagram is going to push you out to your current audience. It really is. Now, as far as going live on Instagram, you need to come up with a goal of how many times per week you're going to go live for the next 6 months. And I do this. We do this in the takeover. It's a challenge that we're doing right now, and you keep track of it. in a spreadsheet. Like you keep track of the topic that you covered, you keep track of how many times you stuck to your goal, and if you miss one during 1 week, it should carry over into the next week. So by the end of the year, you're going to have X amount of lives, for example. So that's going to push you out to your current audience. Now, things that you can do with Instagram Lives is you can mimic exactly what I'm doing here. I am taking my ability to coach someone. I have reached out to the people who are not in my paying world right now currently, and I'm inviting them in via application to be coached with me in real time. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing what I love, first of all. I'm helping people for free, second of all, and I'm also putting myself in front of your audience.
Mm.
So that's huge. Because we are collaborating right now on this live, like your people are coming to watch this and they might have never met me before. They don't know who I am.
Right.
So they're going to see me in real time in my zone of genius and be like, I wonder who this person is. I need to go check out her content. So you could consider like doing that within your realm of
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want that to look like. So that's one way if you were just staying to Instagram.
Okay.
Another thing with Instagram is I would take like every single reel that you post and I would duplicate it. So you're going to save it to your drafts after you fully created it, save it to your drafts, duplicate it, and post it as a trial reel every single time you create a reel.
Wow.
So the trial reels will go out to your non-followers. They will keep in mind your trial reels are not going to perform well at first. Trial reels thrive off of consistency. So you have, if you're gonna like roller coaster with them, it's not gonna work. But what better way than to just, you're already creating reels,
Yeah.
just duplicate what you're doing and post it a second time. Okay, so there's that. Um, I'm trying to think of other things on Instagram. So just to get deeper into like the coaching aspect on a live, you also notice that before I went live, like this a couple hours ago, I posted the time that I'm going with you and I tagged you and you shared it.
Yeah.
So again, doubling my exposure, doubling my reach into your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Now also you have to take into consideration this is mutual. So you're doing that for other people too. Like you're bringing people on. You want to make sure that the application is part of this because you want to be picky and choosy with who you bring
Yeah.
into your audience as well.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like I would title your coaching series or whatever your conversation series, whatever that is, like create it as if it's an offer, like put that much energy into it. Like I titled this main character coaching series because I'm treating this like it's a $10,000 offer. And
Yeah.
that's post this. Like branding and everything goes into that.
Yeah.
That's Instagram alone. Now let's talk about your podcast. Your podcast is like podcasting can be a gold mine for catching. There's a interesting way of doing this. So obviously consistency in podcasting is also huge and making sure that your topics are highly valuable.
Mm.
In the beginning of the year, actually I think it was in December of last year, but either way, I went on Threads and I launched Chit Chat with Chan, which is my own podcast. And the way that I launched it was I asked people if they would come on and get interviewed by
Mm.
me on my show. So on Threads, I used that platform because the only reason I did that is I noticed that other people were doing that with their podcasts and I didn't have one. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to F around and see if this works for me. And the post went viral where I invited people in.
Yeah.
In the thread post, I was very specific with who I wanted to bring onto my show, female founders. So you would need to be specific for yours. And then I said in the comments, if you're interested in coming onto my show, let me know what you would talk about.
Right.
So then I also created an application for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would DM these people on Instagram. I would send them the application and I would say, I'd love to have you on my show. And they would fill out the application. I'm also getting email addresses every single time I create an application. Now, what I would do differently is I would have said, I bring you onto mine and you bring me onto yours.
Okay.
Now I'm
Yeah.
people who have podcasts. And so that's like a double thing. Like you should definitely take that and run with it. At least for like half of the people, like you should make that a thing. Um, one thing that I did require, especially it's a little bit easier for me because I was working with women who are in business.
Mhm.
So it was a requirement that if you come onto my show, you have to send out a mass email to your list about our show going live. And you also have to post me to your stories.
Mm.
And just like I'm giving them my audience, I'm putting them in front of my audience. And a lot of times, actually, so many times, the women that came onto my show, my audience purchased from them because they were visible in front of my people. So it's like I don't feel guilty for asking them to do these things in return because they're getting a lot from being in front of my audience. So that's another route that you go, and you can double that. I know this is going to be a lot, I told you. You can double that by I use Riverside, which is I use the free version of Riverside. You could also use Zoom, like it really doesn't matter, but that's where I interviewed these women so that I had video footage that I could then take and upload on YouTube. So the same episode from the podcast, I then uploaded on YouTube, and it was another way for me to get myself out there. Any questions on anything I've said so far?
No, like, let's go.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
sure I can't do all 19 of these things right now?
I mean, you can, but here's another thing. So I
Yeah,
still
my
have,
whole mother.
but here's another thing is what I would do to be smart about this is I would like, do you use like Google Calendar?
Hmm.
I would specifically create like a repetitive task. Maybe it's like every Friday where you're doing these tasks where it's like, I know what I'm doing at 9 a.m. is going to be this thing. And
Yeah,
so that not only stay consistent with it, but you're blocking time for it. And it's not just something that you're like, hopefully I get to this. You know what I mean?
right.
So you create this in like your in your vitals for the week where you have a list of like these are non-negotiable things that I'm going to do every single week because I know yes they're going to keep me busy but I know they're going to get me to my goal of increasing my visibility. Okay. The next thing is you mentioned that you slide into people's DMs.
Hmm.
I don't have any problem with that. Like I don't disagree with that. Especially if you feel like that, if you enjoy that, like just having a conversation with someone, I think is great. Um, I don't do that in my role because I don't make time for it, but I don't think it's wrong.
Right.
Now, before that happens though, I do think there is an opportunity for you to like search the specific people that you would want to work with. And if that, like, you have to understand your avatar, if you will, and search for them and go give them love and do it. Like, pick a person, pick 10 targets that you want to have. Again,
Yeah.
we're getting real salesy and masculine, but this is part of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Pick 10 targets and you have them maybe listed in your phone notes or in a spreadsheet somewhere. And every single week, go show them love and
Yeah.
go, and not just like a couple, like, oh, I love this post, but go above and beyond and say, I love how you said this about the same way you comment on my shit. It's like, go be very much, I'm interested in you and I'm paying attention to you. Here's
Yeah.
what I post that I loved and follow them. And then maybe you make a play where you DM them 5 weeks into doing that.
Okay. And I think that I do that with like people I already know, maybe that are already in my world.
Yeah, I would
That's like my
definitely.
presence online, but I definitely need to go outside.
Yeah, and there's no harm, no
I gotta go outside.
gotta go outside.
I will go outside.
Oh man. Um,
Okay, yes. Oh,
yeah, so just find people that you don't that are not in your world right now and just
yeah.
go give them some love and like that. Also too, like as you're watching them, study study their every move so that you can collect market research on them and then you create content around that. Like what do they need? You know what I mean? Um, okay. Then the next thing that I have is the I don't know what the best play is for this, but actually, let me back up before I get to that one. I know that there's also a play. I've never done this, but I do know a lot of my like industry friends do this where Cherie
Outside.
uh where they will go into Facebook groups. So like there's so many I know.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, I've never even like looked into that. Like I stay as far away from Facebook as possible. But there are Facebook groups for everything. Like you could go and find widowed mothers. You could
Yes.
go in some of these Facebook groups, they take it so seriously that you have to pay to be a part of it. But when you're in there, you you position yourself as a person who cares, and then you position yourself as a person who knows what she's talking about and a leader in the space, and you go and you interact. So that's another opportunity. And then the last thing that I was going to mention is whatever this looks like, and again, I don't know, but here's how I think about joining masterminds, joining groups of like whether it's a mini mind or like a group program. First and foremost, I pay attention to like what do I need to learn? Like where's my gap and how can I fill that? And I really lately have had to analyze like am I just interested in this? Because for so long I kept buying content programs and I'm like I don't need to learn any more about that. And I would ask myself like am I just interested in this or is this an actual gap in my life and in my business? So that's the first thing I'm thinking about. But the second thing I ask myself is when I put myself in this room, am I going to be surrounded by potential clients?
Mm.
So that's not my first goal, but I am. And for you, a potential client is any woman. So it's like,
Or literally you who needs to journal more, Chandler.
I mean,
I
sorry, are
love
you
you. I
services
love you.
on the, I told you, you're already a main character. Look at you.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, your turn.
Yeah, seriously. Um, so anyway, I've really like gone into these spaces and this is where I've most of my high ticket clients come from these experiences, which is crazy. But because I go into the space and I'm first and foremost a learner, I'm a beginner. And when people realize that you have the ability to, the same way you showed up and made you look, like your ability to be highly attentive, put yourself out there, get to your edge, take risks, speak in front of the entire class, people are attracted to those characteristics before you ever even said what you're good at. It's crazy. It's like people want that energy and they have no idea what you even teach. They're just naturally attracted to you. So you're going in there for yourself, but then go out of your way to help other people. Like go out of your way when someone has a question, you don't come from a place of and this is what I wish every mastermind would teach. You're not coming from a place of like I'm your coach. You're coming from a place of like if I were your it depends on the space you're in. If I were your spouse, if I were your ideal client, if I were your family, here's how I would think about what you're struggling with instead of like, let me coach you because I know all the answers type thing.
Right.
I digress. Those are all the things that came to my mind. Now I'm going to be thinking about this. I did pull up your application like 5 minutes before and then you DM'd me, so I knew kind of what the question was, but I'm going to be like, huh, what more can we do here? But I think that's enough for now. How do
Yeah.
you
Good. Um, Brick wall, run through all the things. But I think like usually I have that like, oh, I got it. And right now I'm very calm and I think that's a good sign.
yeah,
I think usually like some of that is like nerve sided energy where I'm like nervous and excited and I don't know what to do with it. But this seems like this is like the next step versus a quantum leap. And I like that. I think
yeah,
I need that right now.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's great. And
Yeah.
also it's like you have hosted retreats, you are going to host more retreats. There's a huge opportunity for you to do something there where you could look at if they bring someone, again depending on the cap of seats, but if they bring someone then you'll offer a bundle deal for both. So maybe it's like buy get one 50% off and then they can Venmo each other the difference, whatever that
Yeah.
is. But like you can offer that opportunity if they bring someone. So then again, you're bringing more people into your world.
That's crazy because I'm like pitching my offer to my writing circle tomorrow.
Love that.
You're way better than Chad Daddy, by the way.
Well, thank you very much.
Chad Daddy, oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cute.
I was literally talking to my sister yesterday and I'm like, man, chat daddy is like such a crutch for people. And Tansy was like, it has a personality. It's
It does.
like you can tell, like you know that when someone uses chat, I mean, first of all, remove the dashes for crying out loud, remove all the emojis, like be a little more sly. But then it's like, even if I didn't know so much about Chat Daddy, I feel like I could still feel the disconnect. Like it just doesn't hit the same. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, we love Chat Daddy, but it's like not for my content.
No, for my grocery list, yes,
For,
but
for my astrology questions, yeah. So
yes,
good.
all the things. Oh my God,
What
I
are
gotta
you
go outside.
doing this weekend? You got any plans?
This Jenny loves me, okay?
Rules.
This weekend, I am going to go and see my friends play again, Wizard of Oz. Erin, she's probably
Nice.
turned up, and possibly to a hot springs with my mommy.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
It's like our last weekend before both of us start school and stuff.
Oh yeah, motherhood.
Yeah, motherhood. No, I'm gonna teach. I'm gonna teach third grade.
No way,
Yeah, girl.
dude. That's
I
awesome.
manifest. This is crazy, Chan. Like I manifested this job out of thin air. I was like, I want to teach. I want to be involved with kids again. I don't want to do it every day. I don't want to get my teacher's credential back. Like da da da. I want it to be like twice a week. This job is twice a week. I don't have to grade papers. I still get to experience all the like love, and I get to still like be around malleable kids who I can like impact and love on twice a week. And
That's
it pays more than my last job. And I can still work on all of this. And that was my other thing. It's like I don't want to. I'm drained. I give like 130% to every job I do.
yeah,
So like I wanted something where I could still have space for my community. And dude,
dude.
manifested thin air.
So dope. Are you gonna go by like Miss Sammy or are you gonna be Mrs. Brand?
Now I kind of want to be Miss Sammy,
I think
but
you.
we were actually talking about this. We were talking about this because one of the other teachers, I was introducing myself, and she was like, "Are you a Miss or a Mrs.?" And my brain glitched because I was like, "I don't know." And
Mhm.
my other friend was like, "You're actually a Mrs. as a widow," and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, because it honors your late husband, but it doesn't like because I don't feel like I wasn't married and we didn't get divorced, so it's like I'm still a Mrs. But that's also my mom
Mm.
because I grew up with her at my school. So I'm like, I'm not Mrs. Brand. That's weird.
Is Brand your maiden name?
Yes, and he took my last name because I'm a boss
Oh
bitch.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
dude. It
wild.
was a weird twist of events because we were gonna do like the lesbian thing and combine our last names because his was Lindstedt and mine is Brand, so we were gonna do Brandstedt. And the government was like, "Nah, son, you can't do that."
Oh my.
So yeah, and so it was faster because I lived in Sweden. It was faster for him to change his name to Brand. So he actually passed as a Brand, and that's why Freya has my last name
That's
because yeah, dude. And Brand means fire in Swedish.
wow.
I know. I gotta do more with that.
Yeah. Like gosh,
I,
we're stories. We need to know about these
I
things.
know, Mrs. Daddy
Miss
Brand. That's
Daddy.
right. That is so right. God, don't get me started on my daddy vibes. We could be here another hour.
Yeah. Yeah, you're killing it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming on. And
Thank you.
yeah, keep me posted on all the things. I will be cheering for you. And we're going to need to do like a round two of this so that we can check in and see how it's going because I need to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know I'm your biggest cheerleader and I just love you so
I
much.
know. I love you so much. Thank you for this.
Yeah,
My under boob sweat is like to a minimum right now.
love it. We're improving.
All right,
Well,
girl. Have the best day.
you too. Bye.
Bye.